with the kind of gaspy sound that you heard that kind of, you know, made you a bit hysterical and you were quite scared. Yes, there isn't wind, but where you are standing, you are in the middle of a staircase, and there could be a natural acoustic phenomena that's occurring there. But then at the end of the clip, there's a loud bang. And again, there's nobody there, and it appears as though it's coming from down the corridor at the far end of the cellar, where there is nobody. Now, short of any debris being dislodged by an animal, I don't really have an explanation for that.
Fantastic. I love it when you don't have an explanation for anything. Now, join us after the break when we shall be joined by medium Chris Conway for a lit walk around in this most haunted of prisons. Welcome back to Most Haunted, the live series. I've brought my investigation team to a place that I consider to be one of the most scariest places that I've ever been to. Lincoln Prison certainly is a terrifying place to be, especially after dark, and especially if you're on your own, anywhere in this place. We've got Kieran with us, and we also have medium Chris Conway. Now, Chris, this is the part where you tell us what you believe to be here that's haunting this place. So, what do you believe that's
Well, as soon as I walk in here, usually I don't really talk much about residual energy or anything like that. It's not something I tend to stick to. But this place here, as soon as I walk in, that's exactly what I feel. And what amazes me, because when I seen that we're coming to a prison, I was expecting walking through that door to get sort of like anger and the way the sort of emotions you get from a prison. What I'm getting in here, it's very much like a mental asylum, and what I'm feeling in here, it's frustration, but it's also been stuck in something and not been able to get out. And as we were coming in, straight away, I was met by a prisoner, and straight away he was explaining to me why I was getting that feeling, and he was talking to me. He's calling it the coffins, okay? And what he's saying is that they put us in these coffins, and he's saying when we're in these. They sit and they preach at them, and they're stuck in these things, and he says it's like death, and that's what they call them, is the coffins when they're in there. And he says the full bit is like that. It's horrible. They can't. Anytime when they're in their cell, they're okay, lonely but okay. But as soon as they come out, they're degraded. They're.
Can you just stand still a second? Carl and Leslie, I know you're back down. Is there any whispering down there? Are you whispering? Or?
No. I've been here. I thought you were talking
This
all
is where
the
we get
time.
that phenomenon of shh.
Yes, all the time here.
Where do you want us to go next? Where are we meant to go?
No, if you just go down. I was just very concerned because it's a definite sound.
Yes.
You can definitely hear it.
Yes.
And I wonder if we've got some sort of natural acoustic reverberation. That's the thing.
Well, the times that I've been here in the past, this particular corridor, when you stand still, you hear a whispering, and every time I've been, and then you hear footsteps, like running down the stairs and along this corridor. And it's constant, it's all the time.
And you're absolutely still when that happens?
Absolutely still. We've actually recorded it on a previous investigation. It was that loud.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's
so
capture that later.
Well, maybe when you're on your own later, Kieran, you might pick that up.
Okay, on my own in that place. But anyway, let's talk about that later.
Okay, so you're picking up on a lot of residual energy. No disrespect to you, and I know Kieran will probably back me up on this, but let's just have a look at the video. But, you know, we're in a prison, you're going to pick up on a lot of those things. You know, they're quite obvious things to pick up on. So what I want you to tell me is anything a little less obvious that we can, that Leslie can chew at.
Well, that's why I mentioned it before I said it, was because I know how obvious it sounds, and that's why it's something that I tend not to do, because it is pretty obvious and I don't like to do it. The man that I was talking to, the name that he was giving me, it was the first, it was definitely Joseph, and the second name, it was either Simpson or Samson. It was that kind of name. Just now, I've not got an exact date from, but if we look at the 1800s, I think we're probably in the right area. He was a prisoner here. Just now, he's not told me what he was a prisoner for.
Can you describe what he looks like?
Yeah, and that's what I was actually before Kieran was talking about the whispering. The way he was dressed, it was like a blue, sort of bluey grey sort of uniform. Take it like a prisoner uniform. His face, as we were walking around, I couldn't see his face. They strapped him up. Okay, couldn't see his face. So I can't give you an age or what his face looks like. All I can describe is what his clothes were and what he had on his face.
But you're in communication with
Yes,
Joseph.
yes.
So perhaps later on you can actually, you know, sort of ask him to tell you something that isn't printed, it's not anywhere, because that would blow our mind.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
If you could. Should we go down this way? Or should we just keep going straight on? Let's go straight on. This whole place is a labyrinth. It really is. There's so many corridors and different rooms. And shh.
Whistle.
Yeah. Hello? Stand still. Can you make that noise again?
I heard it again.
I didn't hear it. There you go. Did we get that on sound? Anybody? No? No one's telling me whether we got... No, okay. We'll keep going. We definitely heard it.
Yeah, definitely heard it.
Okay.
Twice.
Again, Kieran, when I've been here before, that's another phenomenon that happens. There it is again, another whistle. You get whistles, stone throwing, the rushing sound all the time. There's an awful lot of knocking phenomena, but very, very loud.
Right.
And just the presence that you're being watched constantly. So I think the fact that we just
great.
walked
Starting
around,
already.
I know. I can't wait for you to be completely on your own there, Kieran.
Stop
I know.
it.
Do you want to just stand out?
Stop
Sit just
it.
there. Fantastic. So, a lot of information coming out there. Again, you know, less, you know, working on the less obvious stuff. Anything that Chris has come out with?
Yes, done really very well. A great chunk of the prison, although it was built in 1787, a great chunk of it was built in the Victorian period. And in 1849, the separatist system came into place, separating the prisoners out one from the other. There is a room here which will give...
Stone throwing
I heard
behind us. Okay.
which
Go
will
on.
give absolute evidence of what you described earlier about the coffins. Now, although it was abandoned within 2 years, the separatist system, there's a reason for it. It's because it literally made people mental. They wore masks, you've described that, the women wore veils, and then we've got them all shut away 23 hours a day, not able to mix with other people. Terribly distressing. When you said a mental asylum, no wonder. We know that Charles Dickens himself fought against this being the case, and I can tell you that whispering that you heard, I've heard it on my own, the most incredible sound when I came last time, and we've got it again this time.
Okay. Anything to top that?
Not really, no. You know, this is my first experience with the prison, but we're already getting phenomena. And I've got some theories about some of the whispering and the acoustic stuff, even if you are standing still. But I'm going to wait to see how the investigation goes, see if we get more.
I've got my fingers crossed. I know from past experiences that this place is going to be, well, it might even make you scream tonight, Dr. Kieran O'Keefe. Join us after the break when we will have the lights off and our night vision cameras on. Kieran will be screaming and we'll make an attempt to contact the spirit said to haunt this prison.
Said to be a hive of paranormal activity, the prison chapel sends a chill down the spine of all who visit here. Distressingly, there have been reports of dark figures lurking in the tiny tiered pews. Visitors have complained of a cold breeze momentarily paralysing them with fear as an invisible entity malevolently brushes past them. Who is this foreboding spirit, and will they make their presence felt tonight?
Welcome back to Most Haunted Live here in Lincoln. We've come to one of the most frightening places I think I've ever been to as an investigator into the paranormal. I am basically doing one of the craziest things I think I've ever done, which is start this investigation off on my own. I'm completely on my own. I've got the cable here for the camera. I'll just show you where I am. There's a camera up there getting a wide shot of me down here. There's some really strange